I know folks may have questions about my style, but don't question my leadership.
Mayor,
we're going to work really hard to continue to find as many options as we possibly can so no one has to be out on the street.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to come to you and talk to you about everyone's favorite mayor, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Johnson has been, has seen a whirlwind of fame and notoriety over the past few years, maybe even become infamous because of his policies, because of the way he has ran Chicago, and exactly where it is the city finds itself today. So what happens now is that the migrants have been kept in a shelter for the past few months or so, and the amount of money that is being spent overall in Chicago is outrageous. I believe it's closer to $200 million that has been spent over the past year in terms of just one staffing company, and things are getting tight. So what's happened now is that there is a need to begin evicting people, the illegal migrants, and to have them go out and begin to find places of their own. Many of these people have not received work visas, which again, if you cross into the country legally, that should not be your particular option. But what's happening now is these people are being released now, and Mayor Johnson is continuing to state that they're going to look for places and opportunities on how they can continue to support those who are in these situations. What's wild really right now is the fact that this money is being taken from other places. So community centers, parks, things like that for young kids are being taken away and are being given to these people who are crossing into the country illegally. I'm going to play a video here. We'll watch a little bit of this, come back and talk about it just after that. If it's your first time joining, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel, and here we go.
Earlier this week, Governor J.B. Pritzker said he's very concerned about the lack of new shelters for migrants in Chicago. The state has allocated an extra $160 million to help, but Pritzker says he's waiting on the city for a plan.
The city has not told the state where they would like us to put our resources to build new shelters or help them build new shelters. So we can't help if they don't identify those locations.
Johnson says the city has given the state several shelter location sites, and the mayor reminded the governor the state could use the money to build a shelter anywhere.
Shelters do not have to solely be set up and built in the city of Chicago. The state can do it wherever they want.
Despite the back and forth, Johnson says he and the governor are not at odds with each other over the migrant crisis. Meantime, Edgewater residents sent a letter to the mayor demanding that the Broadway Armory be returned to the neighborhood as a community center. For the past 6 months, it has housed over 300 migrants.
There was so many programs at the Armory that have been shut down. We've been really left out of the loop, per se. We've reached out to the city numerous times.
The city promised residents it would reevaluate the Armory as a shelter by February 1st, but 48th Ward Alderman Lenny Mana-Hoppenworth doubts the building will be returned to residents anytime soon.
The Broadway Armory is going to continue to be a migrant shelter, but that is not going to stop us from continuing to talk to our colleagues and our administration.
And there are 28 migrant shelters in Chicago, and all are full. Earlier this week, the mayor met with about 25 suburban mayors. He asked for their help with the crisis in any way they can.
All right, guys, so there it is. You have it. Again, what's happening right now is that the money that's being paid by those who are in the city, people who are going to work every day like yourself, people who are clocking in for 9 to 5s, doing everything they can, that money is being funneled out of their pockets. They're going in, they're receiving, they're getting their dollars taxed. And normally what would happen, those dollars will go back into the form of, greater police, better schools, better roads for their city. And this is not happening right now. That money is being siphoned off, and it will continue to be so. Cities like Maine have gone ahead and instituted a 2-year option for those who are in migrant stays. They're giving them 2 years of free rent. Other places are giving them stipends. They're giving them, everywhere for the most part, you're having some place to stay. And this is money, for better or for worse, whether it's considered to be a small amount of the budget or a large amount. This is money that would be used for city residents, that's being used for other purposes that were not voted on by the city residents. Overall, what's happening right now, we see that the country right now, that the politicians have decided that the tax base is no longer their focus. They're looking for someone else instead to replace them, and they're looking to go about that any means necessary. Most recently, the Department of Justice sued Texas as a result of them looking to defend their border. The Supreme Court continued to stay and ruled in the favor of Joe Biden and the White House, saying that Texas is not allowed to block their border, which is wild. Again, your president that you voted for. Those of you who are proponents of Joe Biden, he allowed people to continue to cross into the nation. As the state is trying to block it, he's telling them that you should not be able to do this. Where exactly we are as a nation is interesting. I've said this again and again, and I'll continue to repeat. This spring is going to have a serious influx. There's going to be an outrageous number of people who are climbing into the country. People are going to be more reticent as they see Donald Trump is gaining in steam, and the opportunity to enter the country is closing fastly on many of these people. We'll see exactly how this plays out. What are your thoughts on the situation? Please comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.